Hello everyone, welcome back to our Java programming series. In today's video, we are going to talk about unary operator in Java. So these operators are used with only one operand to perform various operations like incrementing, decrementing, negation, inverting the value. So currently we are going to discuss about these operators. Here we have unary plus, unary minus, increment, decrement, and logical complement. First of all, we are going to start with unary plus. That means plus operator and it indicates a positive value. That means if we have integer a equal to 5, that means here a is having positive value. So let's try to understand with example. So I can say here int a equal to 5. Let's try to print this value. So I can say here unary plus. This is just normal string. I am just giving so we can easily understand when we will run in the console. And if I give a, that means whatever value a is holding, it will just print. So let's run. You can see here we are getting value as a unary plus. So if we change as a plus sign, whether it will impact? No, it will not impact because by default plus sign is just imagine like hidden. So that's why we are not using plus in the positive number. Now the next one we have unary minus. So as the name itself saying minus, that means it will give the minus value. So let's copy this one and declare another variable. I can say here int p equal to, I will just give here minus a. That means currently a having 5 value as a positive. Now it will give like b having minus 5. So let's change as a b and give as a unary minus. So if you run, you can see we are getting answer as a minus 5. So these are the unary minus and plus. So now we are going to discuss about increment operator, and it always increase the value of an operand by 1. And here we will have prefix and postfix. So don't be confused. We will see pre and post after some time in this video itself. So first of all, understand what is increment. Increment means like it will just increase the value of current variable. So if I give here int a equal to 5, now I will try to print like increment. So how you can do? Just use here a plus plus a, and if you run here it will give the value as a 6, because what is the behind of plus plus a? Here it is treating like 1 plus a, and a value is here what? 5. That's why it is showing the value as 6. Similarly, we will have another unary operator that is called decrement. So what it will do? It will just reduce the value by 1. So let's use this out. And here I need to declare another variable int c equal to 5. And I am going to give the message like decrement. So what we can do? Just use minus minus c. C having currently value as a 5. And what it will do? It will just do like 5 minus 1. So we'll get answer as 4. So these are the increment and decrement. So we have now pre-increment and post-increment. So whatever we have seen here, that we can also say as prefix increment. That means what it will do? At the same place, it will increase the value. So currently if we have value as a 5 and you want to use the value as a 6, then just use plus plus a. That means currently it will just give the response as a 6. You can see here. But imagine you have value as a 5 and you want to increment, but you don't want to use the latest value. You just want to use the older value. On that place, you can use the post increment. Like if I say here, just copy this one so you will understand. Post increment, okay, current value. Now let's change as a plus plus. In the post means plus sign will go to the last. So currently we have the value as a 5. Now we are doing here a plus plus. So what will be the value here? Can you guess? Here it will give the value as a 5. You can see here we are getting value as a 5. Now do one thing. Let's remove this one. I don't want to make you confused. So you can see I have used here post increment, but it is just giving me the older value. That means here 5. And at the next time, if I'm going to use the value of a, here it will give me the value as a 6, because already we did post increment. So post increment will not change the value at that current position. After that, whenever you'll use the variable a, it will automatically give the increment value. That's why we are getting answer as 6 here. But in the pre-increment, what it will do at the same position, it will update the value. So you can see at line number 12, we have a value as a 6, but we use pre-increment. So that's why it just updated value as 7 at that current position, and it just give the answer as 7. Similarly, we will have here again pre-decrement and post-decrement. So what I will do, copy this one. Here I will just use here post-decrement. Post means at the end. So currently we have value of C as a 5. So when you run at this position, we'll get value as a 5. But at this line, we are not doing anything. We are just using the value of C. But here we'll get the answer as 4. And here now we are going to get answer as 3, because 4 minus 1. That's why it is here we have to give pre-decrement. So let's run. You can see here we are getting post-decrement value as 5. And at this line, we are just printing the C. So here we are getting 4. Because in the post-decrement, at that place, it will give the current value. That means older value. So older value, we have only 5. But here we given the symbol as minus minus. That means whenever you use C after this line, it will update the value and it will just reduce minus 1. That's why we got decrement value as 4, and at that pre-decrement on that time we have the value as a 4, but we are just using pre. That means at that current position it will minus 1 from the older value. That's why we got value as a 3. Don't be confused, please. Post means at that same position it will give the older value, but at the next place when you are going to use the variable, it will update as a plus 1. But in the pre, at that same position, it will update the older value as a plus 1. It will not give the older value. So this is the major difference between post increment and pre-increment, and post decrement and pre-decrement. So please practice so you will understand much more better way. So last unary operator we have logical complement operator. It will just behave like logical NOT. That means it will just reverse the value, like earlier how we had condition 1 value as a true, but whenever we use logical NOT, it just change the value as a false. That means true value change as false and false value change as true. So similar way it will behave like exactly same. So let's declare one boolean, and I can say here flag variable name, and I can give the value as true. Let's try to print. So first of all, try to print the flag value. So when we'll run, we'll get the value as a true. But if you use the sign of logical complement, it will give the answer as false, because it will just revert the older value. That means it will change true to false and false to true. So these are the unary operator. Here we have so many important things like increment and decrement. Please practice. It will definitely help you, because when we are going to talk about for loop, we are going to use increment and decrement. On that time, I am expecting you doubt is already clear, so you will not get confused like how for loop is working. This is the major important thing. If you have to understand for loop, while loop, you have to be clear with increment and decrement value. In the next video, we are going to discuss about other operators.